All right, what's up, everybody? So today we are going to basically do a comparison of the Hasbro Marvel Legends Maximum Deadpool versus the LPZZ Arkham Knight Deathstroke. So this figure's like $50. This one's around 80 to 90. So it's not really going to be seeing which one's better, because I think it's kind of obvious. But we can kind of see what you get for your money with each one, and basically what's better value. So I already got them out of the box, obviously, but we can kind of just take a look at the boxes real quick. I mean, you have a big window, maximum Deadpool, 14 plus, because I guess it's Deadpool, so it's 14 plus. And then you got some renders of him and render of him, and that is really weird because Dupe does not have the logo. That's weird. So yeah. Then over here with the LPZZ box, basically just says Batman Arkham Knight Deathstroke. That seems like a picture of the figure, I think, so that's pretty cool. Unfortunately, my box got a bit damaged, so it is a little messed up. So it says 1/12 collectible figure. And on the back, you got prisoner detention. There's the logo again. And at the top, it says Batman Arkham Knight Deathstroke with a little Batman piece of tape, which is cool. But yeah, I kind of got, my box got a little messed up, which is annoying. But on this box, it's a magnet, so you can open it up and then you can see the figure inside. But obviously, the figure is not inside because he's outside of the box. So let's basically get right into it. We can compare all their accessories. All right, well, here is both figures with all their accessories laid out, and they basically look like they come with like the same amount of stuff. So, but yeah, I mean, I think you can already tell the proportions on one of these looks really good. The other not as good, but we're basically going to go over everything and compare each weapon that kind of corresponds with each figure and see which has better accessories. With Deadpool, you get these two like little swords. And unfortunately, they are, like, tiny. I don't know why they did this. I think they're, like, reused from a different Deadpool. But they're not really, like, katanas. They're, like, little, I don't know what they're called, but they're shorter than I would like and what most people would like. And for some reason, this one has, like, silver on it. And I can't figure out what that is, like on the hilt. I don't know if that's supposed to be there on mine, but the other one doesn't have it, so that's kind of strange. But yeah, they're kind of gray, but basically standard with what you'd get with Marvel Legends. We've got these before. But then with Deathstroke, you first get this long sword here, which got, you know, much nicer silver and, you know, different colors on there. Yeah, comparing them, you can see how small these Deadpool swords are. So that's one of his swords, but then he also has another sword, which is a little bit shorter and different shape and everything. This one's still super tiny compared to it, but yeah, so you got some orange paint in there. Yeah, so it's silver. This is more gray. So basically, I guess Deathstroke wins with swords. But, you know, it's not as fair of a comparison because one's an import and stuff. But, you know, it's still just fun to see the comparison. With how expensive these are getting, you can just see what it would be like with a figure that's not really that much more at this point with Marvel Legends. So I don't know all these types of guns, so I'm just going to call them little guns and big guns. So you have this big gun with Deadpool. And, you know, it's just molded in the grayish black plastic. And then you have this box, which has a green bullet, which doesn't really make sense. So they didn't paint that. Oh, yeah, you can see it more there. Potentially all the guns with Deadpool are reused, I'm not sure. So this is like a crazy looking Nerf gun crazy thing, which kind of works for Deadpool, but it's also kind of silly. But, you know, it's got some orange paint in there and some silver. So, and then you have this like rifle looking thing, which is also pretty cool. You got some brown and some wraps, which have a little bit of some kind of paint on there. So he's got three big guns, and then we can kind of take a look at Deathstroke's, which is a cool silver gun right here, which is really nice. There's a lot of detail in there. Now, here they are compared. So, yeah, I mean, they're both good. All right, so here with Deathstroke, you have like a grappling hook looking thing. I think that's what this is. And you can take that off. So, yeah, a lot of detail in there. And then you also, with Deathstroke, have this, like, staff thing, which is pretty cool because you can have it in this mode, or you can take it apart. And then you can take the ends off, like this. And you can put this, there's this other piece that you can take apart and then put on the ends here. This, like that. Then you can attach this back to here, but then you can take the end off of here as well. Then put this on like that, and then put this in. So now you just got a giant staff thing, which extends like in the game. So that's really cool. So now let's get into some other accessories, such as Deadpool's pistols. You got two of them here, and they look good, and that's basically all there is to it. You know, kind of shiny-ish, plasticky, but yeah. But then you have the LPZZ one, which is silver. So kind of a similar look. This one has a little bit of a wash in it, I think. And this, it looks less plasticky. So Deadpool has his baby knife, which is cool, but it's also that same kind of grayish looking blade. And then you also have a little knife with Deathstroke. Much different design. There's a holster that you can put this on Deadpool. I don't think Deathstroke has a holster for this though, or a sheath, I should say. All right, so now let's compare the alternate heads. So you don't get a fully unmasked Wade Wilson head sculpt, which is unfortunate. It should have that, but you do get this head sculpt, which I think is still pretty cool. So he's just got the mask pulled up, and you can see the teeth in there. But then we have a fully unmasked Slade Wilson head sculpt here from the LPZZ figure, which is a lot more detailed and looks really good. You got the eye patch there, and the scar, and the hair. It's got like a wash in there, which looks really good. So yeah, I mean, overall, you would have to give it to LPZZ, but obviously more expensive. It would be cooler if there was also a fully unmasked Wade sculpt. Also, I forgot to mention, you also get 3 little blast effect pieces for the guns, which is really cool. You'd at most need like 2 to have 2 at once. But it's nice that they give you all 3, and there's a big one, and then a medium one, and a small one. So it's cool that they included basically 1 for each gun. They can't go in the pistols though. So 2 other really cool accessories you get with Deadpool is this dynamite and a chimichanga, which I really like they included that. So yeah, it's a cool accessory. You got a little Deadpool with a sombrero hat on. And you also get a dynamite. It says dynamite. That's how you know that it's dynamite. And then it has a little like the fuse has been lit, which is pretty cool. So I like those. So you got a thumbs up and a peace sign. You get 2 fisted hands, 2 like grip hands, and then 2 trigger finger hands with the up and down hinge. And you get 2 pointing finger hands. As far as Slade's hands go, you got 2 open hands like this. And also, he has pegs that are like Hot Toys pegs. You can move them and like turn the you can turn the peg and then move it however you want. But with Deadpool, every hand has its own peg, which means you can only move it up and down or horizontal. And you got fisted hands, some relaxed hands, 2 trigger finger hands, and then 2 grip hands, and then there's also some more grip hands. Obviously, the design on Deathstroke is based off a game, so it has more textures and details and stuff, and this is a comic figure, so it's a little bit less textured and detailed. Finally, you get another character with Deadpool, which is really cool. So you have Dupe here, which I think is pretty funny. Don't really know much about this guy. Yeah, he's like super goofy looking. He's got like weird bumps up there, which is pretty gross, and an X logo with some like texture in there, and a little bit of a wash, it looks like, as well. And you got, does have a little bit of articulation. You can kind of move his arm around and up. So yeah, and he's got 1 hand with a fist, and could have been cool to have swap out arms, but yeah. Then obviously he has a stand as well that you just port in there, and he can stand. Now, Deadpool doesn't have a stand. Marvel Legends figures don't come with that, but you do get one for Deathstroke. So yeah, it's pretty good, and has you know, screws in there you can tighten if it gets loose. So yeah, pretty nice stand. It says Batman Arkham Knight, and then it says Arkham Knight on the front, even though this is not Arkham Knight, this is Deathstroke, but it's from Arkham Knight. But if you don't like that, you can take it off, but then it does leave a little indentation there, so yeah, I probably should have said Deathstroke, but I think it's fine. So overall, I would say they basically have the same amount of accessories. I didn't count how many each has, but obviously the ones on Deathstroke are a lot more detailed and stuff, but I mean, I would say I'm pretty impressed with how much each of them come with. Deadpool has a decent spread of a lot of stuff, but does that justify its price for the quality that you have of the accessories? Because the quality of these are a lot better overall, and the silvers and just all the detail, and you got washes and stuff. So next we can move into basically the details. Holy crap, my Hot Toys God Loki just got delivered while recording this, so I'm definitely going to open this up, and you might see this video first, I don't know. But yeah, let's continue with the video. All right, so just looking at proportions alone, basically, Deathstroke clears, so I guess we can just end the video right there. I guess we'll go over Deadpool first. So I mean, he has a new sculpt, which is nice for a Maximum figure, whatever that means. So, you know, you got a new sculpt with, it's more of a modern-ish Deadpool design. So, you know, you got the straps here that hold up his, like, sword sheaths, and then you have, you know, this detailing here, which is sculpted in, which is nice. You got some wrinkling there, the logo, and a belt with a holster, and then a bunch of pouches along his thigh with another holster for the other pistol as well. So then this is all sculpted here. You can feel that. Oh shoot, he just got taken out. Okay. and then some shin guards. So yeah, I mean, it's a Marvel Legend, so I think it's probably better than your average Marvel Legend in terms of detail and sculpt and stuff. But it is a Marvel Legend nonetheless. So when we pick up this guy, we can really tell what you can be getting with some of these new import figures. So, I mean, just the head sculpt, you can see the little tiny eye in there, which is pretty crazy. And then, I mean, obviously this design has a whole bunch of texture and a whole bunch of stuff. You know, there's going to be more detail just on that alone. But, I mean, you can just really tell how much detail is in this thing. So much texture and paint all over the place. So, like, you got all this armor. And you would expect with this much armor, you might not get that much articulation, but you really get a ton. So, it does that figure arts thing with the hips, which I don't really love that on the figure arts figures because it looks pretty weird. But I feel like it's not that big of a deal here because it just looks so good. You got a whole bunch of detail in the joint area, so it makes it less noticeable. And yeah, I mean, you got this big old thing back here. I don't even know what this is called, but it's super cool and you can move it. So yeah, I mean, there's just so much detail on here. And it's very, very cool. I do really like both these figures, but obviously this one is like one of the best. So out there. Kind of an unfair comparison, but when these are getting to be like $50, I mean, this is only, you know, $30 to $50 more depending on who you get it from. I can't really remember. I either paid 80 or 90. I got it a little bit ago. So, and the detail on this thing is insane, and it almost makes me want to get less Marvel Legends and more stuff like this, even though I'm more of a Marvel fan than DC. But like, they just showed that Hush Batman. It looks great, so I'm probably gonna get that. He's also got some grenades on his belt there, and then the thing that goes down to a little pouch. Obviously, you also have this thing, which is like a separate piece with the sheath of the sword, and you got all this stuff painted. And then his butt is non-existent because they're little flaps, which is kind of funny. So yeah, and then just a whole bunch of detail on the back. Obviously, Marvel or Hasbro does not paint the back of their figures most of the time. You get a whole bunch here, a bunch of sculpt work as well. So yeah, now I think we're gonna do articulation. All right, so we're going to start off with Deadpool again. So he does have a neck that is articulated, which is cool. I like that, but they don't really implement it that well because it doesn't really get you that much movement. Like, the neck is pretty stiff, so it's like they don't know how to make this stuff work. It's like, you've got like a little indentation back there, and when you go forward, it kind of is a little gappy. It's not too bad, but I mean, it just kind of barely moves back. I'm not sure how much it really helps, but I mean, it can look up fairly well. I think that's better than a lot of the dumbbell joint stuff. And then down is pretty good as well. So, you know, it's not bad. It's good that they have like neck articulation, but it's just not implemented the best. Now, the problem with this figure is when you move the arms, you literally feel like you're going to rip the entire arm off, which is so bad. Like, how does that happen? I don't know. It's so gummy here. So like, if you pull this, mine's not too bad, but like some other people's I've seen are even worse, and you can just rip this thing off real easy. And the shoulder looks a little strange, but you know, you can get up to about there. He's also got some butterfly joints, which they go back a decent amount. Forward, you can't really get them in over the chest that much. All the way around like that, you got a bicep swivel, which works fine, although it looks kind of weird. So, got double joint elbow, which works good. So, that's fine. Then you got just a hinge in here. Fisted hands, horizontal, but they like different trigger finger hands are vertical hinges. I think my gauntlets are kind of low. I don't know, because it looks like there's like a little bit of a gap there, and I can't really push it up, so I don't know if that's a problem or not. As far as torso, I mean, just with this, it kind of crunches a little, but you would think, oh, look, there's a U-joint in there. You could get more, but you literally, like, it doesn't even help. Like, it's so weird. Like, the U-joint really doesn't help with this, and it just gets gappy. It's, like, stuck. It doesn't even want to go forward. So, I don't know. I mean, it's fine, but, like, I don't know, $50? But, you know, you can get some good pivoting like that, side to side, and just all the way around. As far as the legs go, you can kick up pretty good, and out. That's pretty good as well. And there's no drop down or anything, so then you got a swivel right there, double jointed knee, which goes all the way up. Oh, you actually have boot rotation. That's surprising. And then, you know, you can go back and forward with the ankle with some Yeah, and they got some good ankle pivot as well, and a toe joint, which has a giant notch. That's not what you want. So, yeah, that's not the greatest design. At least they got that articulation point in there, I guess. So, yeah. So that's what you get for the Maximum series Marvel Legends. I still like the figures, just because I've been collecting Legends for a while. I kind of am used to what you got going on. But when you get something like this, it's not like a Rebel Tech. You're not going to get like that kind of posing, because then it just starts to look strange. So the neck, oh, this thing came off, so we'll just leave it off for this. So as far as the neck goes, I mean, it's not really that much. It's like around the same as Deadpool, but then down, you can get like all the way down. You can kind of shift forward and back like that. Tilt is good as well, and you can turn all the way around if you want. So yeah, the neck functions better. It like moves back and forth, unlike the other figure. As far as up goes, I think it's actually just basically goes straight out, which might be a little less than the other figure, but then this shoulder pad is on like a hinge here, so you can move that around and get it all out of the way. It kind of reveals like this stuff's not detailed right here, but I don't think that's too big of a deal. So you got a bicep swivel, which is hidden, and then you have double jointed elbow, which goes like all the way, and it's pretty well, hidden there. Then you've got some butterflies in there, which are pretty good. You can go across the body like that, which is really nice. And the gauntlet piece can turn too, which is interesting. And you have like this configuration for a wrist joint. You can do whatever you want with it. Now, for the torso, you would think, okay, you can't do much there because that's like just armor on armor, but you can actually get some fairly decent crunch. So, yeah, I mean, if you compare them, yeah, I mean, definitely get more. It's not that much more though on Deathstroke. So it's not like it's the most crazy articulated figure. It's just you get a lot more detail with basically better articulation as well. So twist down here, so it actually has a ball in there instead of just like a crunch, like the Deadpool. And it actually can't really go side to side much, but it's okay for the amount of armor that you got in here. Now the belt actually comes apart like this, and then you can like plug it in just so you can get it out of the way of the legs and stuff. So the legs, forward, that's all you need. Out is pretty dang good. Then you got a swivel up there as well. And then you have double jointed knees, which goes, all the way that you really need. Some pivot right there. And then you have a toe joint, which doesn't have a notch in it, which is better. Figure, the arms can't really get by his side, but this you can go like all the way in with it. So, I mean, overall, I guess the articulation's comparable, but this one like looks cleaner. Both pretty good articulation, but this one has some problems in this area and the shoulder like piece connecting there. So yeah, I mean, Deathstroke can look up more because the neck is better, and also it seems like the helmet is like a separate piece from a little thing that they got going on up here. It's pretty weird. So you have this piece back here, but then this is kind of separate from it. So you can kind of move that out and then this up. So that's interesting. Woo! Disappointment. Just kidding. The little thing that goes on Deathstroke's head fell off earlier in the video, and I basically forgot to put it on. So it's off for like the rest of the video, which is annoying, but it's okay. So overall, I think you get more bang for your buck with the LPZZ Deathstroke because, I mean, the Deadpool comes with a bunch of stuff, and it has some newer kinds of articulation, but it's not all that functional in some places. The quality that you're getting with LPZZ is basically worth the extra, $30 to $50 to get an LPZZ figure. But I still like both figures. But, I mean, yeah, there's kind of a clear winner here. So, thank you guys for watching. I will have a review of that God Loki up, as well as some other videos coming soon. So, catch you guys next time.